Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said, President Biden's State of the Union speech Tuesday left a little bit to be desired because it didn't go far enough to push progressive policies on student loan debt, immigration, and energy policy. The socialist squad leader picked apart her own party's commander-in-chief shortly after his speech ended, eclipsing the more widely anticipated but ultimately less critical rebuttal to Biden from leftist ally, Representative Rashida Tlaib. Ocasio-Cortez said on MSNBC, the piece on immigration was really just glossed over, and we have over anywhere between 10 to 13 million immigrants in this country that feel desperate for a path to citizenship. The 32-year-old Democratic socialist from New York City proceeded to fault Biden for releasing oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine while giving short shrift to renewable energy. The Congresswoman said, and I quote, "It definitely was a lost opportunity for Biden." Ocasio-Cortez, who represents parts of the Bronx and Queens, went on to urge Biden to grant temporary protected status to Ukrainian citizens living in the US. The status would allow them to legally remain in the US.
To hear it. Things like student loan debt, our overall larger themes and crises in education, as well as the piece on immigration was really just glossed over. And we have over 10, anywhere between 10 to 13 million immigrants in this country that feel desperate for a path to citizenship. We heard happening right now, Russia is very, very much reliant on the rest of the world buying its oil. We are releasing oil reserves right now in order to ease that, but we shouldn't be reliant on fossil fuels to begin with, and that would really solve a lot of these issues. So, I think that there's a lot more to be desired there. EVs, while they are great, they are not the main form of transit for millions of people who live in urban or urban-adjacent areas in the United States. And so we need to hear more about our transition to clean energy beyond just, weatherizing our windows, which is incredibly important, and EVs. But we really need to hear more, I think, about mass transit, trains, high-speed rail, and renewable energy.
Fellow squad members gave mixed reviews to certain Biden lines. Representative Ilhan Omar, for example, was conspicuously seated when nearly all other members of Congress gave Biden a standing ovation for denouncing calls to defund the police. By contrast, Tlaib's more formal response to Biden on behalf of the leftist Working Families Party was largely decontextualized from the president's remarks after she received criticism from fellow Democrats. Representative Josh Gottheimer stated earlier in the day, Tlaib's decision to issue a response to Biden was, and I quote, like keying your own car and slashing your own tires. The Michigan Congresswoman gave very little pushback to Biden and instead praised him while calling on her colleagues to get behind the proposed social initiatives in his roughly $2 trillion Build Back Better Act, which was effectively killed in December by centrist Senator Joe Manchin opposing it in the evenly divided Senate. Tlaib said, with the majority of the Build Back Better agenda stalled, Mr. President, our work is unfinished. But we are ready to jumpstart our work again. We still have time to lower costs for working families and preserve a livable planet for our grandchildren. But we must act now. In glimmers of criticism, Tlaib called on Biden to cancel federal student loan debt, which he says he lacks the power to do, and ban federal permits for new fossil fuel drilling, which Biden is fighting in court to do. She also called on President to break up, and I quote, pharmaceutical monopolies to reduce drug cost. Tlaib's response received little play on cable news channels because it coincided with the live broadcast of the Republican rebuttal represented by Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. Would like to know your thoughts and responses. Share them in the comments down below. And also share this news and support us through subscribing to our channel. Stay tuned for the real stuff on next News Hour.